Hello, this is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can reach us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. Today I want to show you a beautiful piece of stone. This is a piano telephone, and it's made out of stone. And this is Carol's telephone from Washington, and Carol sent this telephone into another repair company, and that repair company sent the telephone directly to me, to A1 Telephone. And it's not uncommon. We get telephones in from other repair shops all the time, and so a lot of times they'll just directly send you to me, or they'll take your phone in and send it to me anyway, and then take it back and then forward it on to the customer. But that's a very common situation where we get telephones in from other companies. And there was an initial checkout of this telephone, an initial checkout video, and we were kind of just talking about in Carol's letter how she would plug it in and the telephone would never hang up. And she had talked about some cords being frayed or something in the letter, and I don't see that on these cords, and that didn't seem to be any of the problem. So anyway, this is the initial in the initial checkout we showed everything, and I took the telephone apart for the first time and kind of showed the way that the telephone was designed. And you would think, since this keypad looks like a touch-tone keypad, it's not. It's of an age that, this telephone's got some age on it, but it's from an era where they had the touch-tone keypad. It looked like a touch-tone, but actually it dialed out in rotary, or it was pulse. And so that's how this telephone is set up. And then you'll have a red LED light here that flashes when you're dialing. And so anyway, we're going to go ahead and do some final checks on this telephone. It's been repaired. We went troubleshooted it, went through the circuits. I resoldered a lot of stuff that I didn't like. I went into the hook switch and I repaired that. We also have a design change. There was a situation going on with a piezo buzzer being so loud that I went ahead and I just couldn't let it out of the shop that way. It was just too piercing, too loud, and we'll get into that in a second and you'll see what I'm talking about. I had to redesign the piezo buzzer circuitry on the ring cycle, so that's been taken care of, and I'll show you what we did. But I want to kind of give you a look at everything. So I'm going to go ahead and flip the phone up. Now, on the initial checkout video, what I showed was we took a look at everything and I pulled the cover off. I just, at a quick glance, I looked at this and mentioned that it was a three-legged capacitor, which would be nothing more than a common ground and two different values of a capacitor. But when I troubleshooted the telephone and resoldered everything and went through everything, this is actually what's called a reed relay. And the IC chip that sends out the electronic signals basically goes to the reed switch, which is nothing more than like an electronic light switch. And this is what actually creates your pulses for your dialing, that little reed relay switch. So that's just a pretty cool little item. And on some of the electronic telephones that were rotary, you'll see these reed switches in them, and that's what causes the switching or the pulsating signals. And so anyway, in the first video, you didn't see this switch. We added a barrel type switch, and this is a four-way switch. So and this is for the piezo buzzer for the ring cycle that comes in, and this was added. And I wanted to give Carol some different options of volume control and an off mode for the piezo buzzer. This piezo buzzer, the engineer who designed this circuit for the piezo buzzer definitely gets an A1 telephone award. But he doesn't get an award for designing a piezo buzzer ring circuit for a telephone. It's for a fire alarm. That's basically what I'm going to call it, because it's this piezo buzzer on the ring cycle, when it was set up from the factory, is so loud and piercing you almost can't take it. I could not let it go out of the shop that way. It just wouldn't be right. And so I had to give Carol some functions, some different mode settings for the piezo buzzer, because I noticed that from in the past somebody had went into where the piezo buzzer is connected to the main board, and they barely had one of the or they had both of the your connections were barely on, because somebody had already went in and messed with them, because they just could not take the shrieking loud volume of the piezo buzzer. And the guy gets an award, that, you know, the engineer gets an award for design here, but it's not for a telephone, it's for a fire alarm. And so he did a real good job, but he just got it in the wrong unit. And so I'm going to show you here, we're going to go ahead and start with that, because I want to kind of show you just how loud this thing really is. And you got to remember, piezo buzzers, they work off bouncing the sound around. So facing you might be loud if I face the piezo buzzer towards you, but it also gets loud when it bounces off, say, a table. And you have to remember, this telephone sits. It actually sits about 2 or more inches up off the ground. So what I'm going to do to simulate that is I'm just going to go ahead and put one of the legs underneath the unit and kind of show you how loud this telephone really is on a ring. Go ahead and hang the telephone up. See how loud that is? It's almost so loud you can't hardly take it. And so now we have a switch below, and I'm going to turn it down 1. That would be kind of like a medium. And then we're going to have a low. To me, that would be just fine. I could probably hear that. I'll let that go one more time. And I'm going to go ahead and turn it off. A ring cycle just went by. I'm going to turn it back on a ring cycle. I'll let that go twice. Give it one more. Shoot it up to the medium level. Let that go one more time, and then I'll hit loud. And this is the way it was from the factory. It's very shrieking. I'll give that one more. So it's just a situation where the design of this piezo buzzer, the ring circuit, was just way out of proportion for a telephone ring. And so that had to have been taken care of. I just couldn't let it go out of the shop with the factory settings. I'm going to give you some dial tone. And what we want to do here is I'm going to pull the phone upright, and I'm going to go ahead and I want to dial the numbers. and I want to dial a 0, and I want to end in a 2. And this is like a flash button on the pound. That's going to disconnect your line and give you dial tone again. Now the star button is actually a redial. I'll let that go through. And you can see your red LED light flashing. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to take this telephone and I want to plug it into a regular line. But before I do that, I want to speak into the telephone and transmit. You can see that red indicator light on the telephone analyzer, and every time that red light lights, that's an indication of 100% modulation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we know the telephone is in working condition now, and what I want to do is I want to take it and put it into a regular line, give you some dial tone, and I want to dial a time and temp number.
Good evening. Shop our entire location online anytime at Offenberg.com. Today is Sunday, August 14th. The time is 10:45. Current temperature 77 degrees. Now the weather forecast for the Belleville area. Clear tonight, lows in the upper 50s. Mostly sunny on Monday, highs around 80.
Okay, so now we know, since I would have to lift up the telephone, I'm just going to go ahead and unplug it, plug it back in, and I want to dial my telephone number and the line will be busy. And this time I'll try to reach up underneath, and I want to hit the hook switch, and I'll dial time and temp one more time.
Good evening. Credit issues? Apply by phone anytime at 622-4600. 622-4600. Same day approval available. Today is Sunday, August 14th. The time is 10:46. Current temperature 77 degrees. Now the weather forecast for the Belleville.
So we know this telephone is fully functional now, and that it has been repaired, and that it also has had a redesign with the circuitry for the ring cycle. And this telephone, when it came in or came out from the factory, did not have any kind of an off and on volume control or an off and on switch for the piezo buzzer here. And so now what we have here is a barrel styled switch that we can just have our 4 different settings. We got original, the original setting where it came from the factory. One down from that would be like a medium, and then a low, and then an off. And I wanted to give Carol some different options of the volume control of the piezo buzzer. It's just way too loud from the factory, and if you were down the street and you wanted to hear your phone ring, you might have it on loud. But most people will probably would want this in a softer version, like on medium or low. And so what we're going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to go ahead. I think we're probably in the factory position. That's just way too loud. It's annoying is what that is. And I want to hit kind of a medium. that ring there would be considered a very loud ringer in the phone, with a phone. I want to give it, I'm going to go ahead and do it while it's ringing. Go to an even softer ring cycle. I'll let that go one more time. I'm going to catch it on a ring cycle and turn it off. Now you don't have to listen to it at all. I'll wait for a ring cycle and shoot it up. That's annoying. Okay, so now we know the telephone is repaired. Give you some dial tone. And that it's functioning and it's repaired, and we have our redesign of our ring cycle, a piezo buzzer. Everything should be just fine with this telephone, and since it's stone and it's made like a tank, this telephone will probably be around for a long time. So I hope Carol enjoys it. I enjoyed working on it. It was kind of a neat thing, and I'm sure the collectors would want this. And now that it has a redesign of the ring cycle and circuit, you know, you've got quite a few different little options that you can put the ring cycle on now, and you don't have to, and you can also turn it off. So that's a plus. This telephone didn't have an off and on switch, and I'm not sure why they didn't have an off and on switch when they had a ring cycle that was so loud. It's unbearable. I hope the video picks that up, but it's just unbearable, really. And so, anyway, this is a little look at a stone piano that's been repaired. This is Dennis with A1 Telephone Service and Repair, A1 Electronics. You can reach us on the web at www.a1-telephone.com, and you can also reach us at 618-235-6959. And this is Carol's telephone from Washington, and basically a shop, she sent this telephone to a repair company, and they sent it directly to me, which is not uncommon. We get stuff in from other shops all the time. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.